All right, so everyone's going crazy for these gaming handhelds, right? But what if you could build your own? Like, not just a kit, but using a whole laptop.
Whoa, hold on. Really? What are we talking about here?
We're diving into this project PC Gamer wrote about. It's called the Beth Deck. And, well, it kind of changes how you think about DIY tech.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So, picture this.
Mm.
A 13-inch framework laptop. You know, the ones that are like super modular. You take that and put all the insides into a 3D printed case.
Oh, now that you mentioned framework, I'm starting to get it. They're the ones where you can swap out parts super easily, right?
Exactly. That's what makes this so cool. The creator, Beth Lay, she used that to make a laptop into a whole other thing.
This is a really interesting example of what you can do when tech is made to be flexible. You know, like it can be more than just one thing.
For sure. It gets you thinking about all the stuff you could do if tech wasn't locked into just one use.
So how do you actually build this thing? How do you go from a pile of laptop parts to a gaming handheld?
Well, Beth put the designs for the 3D printed case on printables.com, which is where people share blueprints for printing stuff.
Ah, so you download the plans, print the case, and basically just put the framework parts in.
Pretty much. You need a few extra things.
Yeah.
Buttons, screws, a controller board, touchscreen, cables, and adapters. But get this, Beth says it only takes like 15 minutes to put together.
15 minutes, seriously. That's faster than me picking a game. Why go through all that when you could just buy a handheld? There's got to be a good reason, right?
Definitely. Upgrading is a huge one. As long as Framework makes those 13-inch motherboards, you could keep making your handheld faster as new parts come out.
It's like future-proofing. Wouldn't that also save money in the long run?
You got it. Especially when new Framework motherboards come out, you could grab an older one for cheap to power your handheld. And let's be real, having a DIY gaming device that nobody else has, that's pretty cool.
For sure. There's something satisfying about making something yourself, especially when it's tech. But I'm guessing there are some downsides too.
Yeah, it's not all perfect. One thing is performance and battery life. Laptop parts are strong, but they aren't really made for how much power a handheld needs and how hot it gets.
Makes sense. Battery is super important for a handheld, so that's definitely something to consider. What else should people who want to build a Beth Deck keep in mind?
Well, Framework motherboards don't have separate fan control like some gaming laptops do. So if it gets too hot while you're playing, the performance might slow down.
Ah, the dreaded slowdown when things get too hot. Not great for gaming. What about the cost? I imagine all those parts could get expensive, especially for a powerful setup.
True. You can upgrade things one by one, which is nice. But getting started, especially if you want a really strong board like the 7840U, can be more expensive than just buying a handheld.
So it's about choices then, flexibility and upgrades versus how well it runs and how much it costs at first. What did PC Gamer think about the Beth Deck overall?
They seemed pretty impressed with how clever it was and how Framework makes things modular. They even said it could save money over time because you're upgrading parts, not buying a whole new device.
That's good to hear. It sounds like they see the value in this kind of DIY tech, even if it's not for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the big takeaway here. It's not about replacing all the gaming handhelds out there. It's about showing what you can do with tech that can be adapted and upgraded.
It really makes you wonder what other cool stuff people could make, especially as this kind of adaptable tech gets even better. This Beth Deck, it's not just tea about the gaming handheld. It's kind of like a statement almost.
Like pushing back against how companies want you to buy new stuff all the time, right?
Yeah. Like devices aren't supposed to just get old and stop working after a while.
Right. And it's more than just saving money. It's about all the e-waste too. That's a
Yeah.
big problem.
Exactly. Framework's whole idea is stuff lasting longer, fixing it, upgrading it, not just throwing it away after a few years.
It's like they're saying, hey, fix your own stuff, which is, not what we're used to from tech companies these days.
I know, right? And the cool thing is, Framework didn't even come up with the Beth Deck. It was someone who just loved their stuff and saw what they could do with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It shows what people can do with open source stuff. And when you can tinker and customize, it's like, here's the tools, make something amazing.
And that's where things get interesting. If we think bigger, it could change how we see tech, make it more sustainable.
Like giving people more control over their stuff, not just going along with how companies want us to upgrade.
That's it. And it's not just laptops or gaming phones, tablets, even appliances. Imagine if you could upgrade your fridge or swap a battery in your washing machine instead of buying new ones every time.
That would be incredible. But let's be real here. Is this actually going to happen? Or are we just dreaming?
That's the tough question, right? Companies make money off us upgrading all the time. And honestly, not everyone wants to open up their tech and mess with it.
I get that. I like tech stuff. But even I get nervous opening my laptop sometimes. So how do we make this DIY stuff easier for everyone?
I think we need to teach people more. Make tech less mysterious so they can fix and upgrade things themselves.
You know what would be great? If those repair shops came back. Instead of throwing stuff away, you take it to someone who can fix it.
I love that idea. Good for the environment, creates jobs, helps communities. It's win-win.
So what can we do? Even if we don't want to build stuff ourselves, can we help make tech more sustainable and repairable?
Of course. Support companies like Framework who are already doing this kind of stuff.
And be smarter about what we buy, right? Choose things that last longer, even if they cost a bit more at first.
Right. It's an investment. You save money not replacing stuff all the time, and you're helping with all the e-waste.
And even if you're not ready to fix things yourself, you can still make your stuff last longer.
Yeah. Simple things. Keep them clean, use cases, don't let them get too hot or cold. That all helps.
And there's so much info online now. Repair manuals, YouTube. You can learn to fix almost anything.
Seriously, if you put in a little effort, you'd be surprised what you can learn to fix.
So we have a choice, really. Keep buying new stuff all the time. Or do things differently and make tech last longer.
This Beth Deck, even though it seems kind of weird, shows us there's another way. We don't have to do things the way they've always been done.
It's about trying new things, fixing things ourselves, and not being afraid to take control.
And who knows? Maybe one day these DIY projects will make everything more modular and repairable. That'd be amazing.
Kind of crazy, huh? We started talking about a gaming thing, but it's way bigger now.
Yeah, it is. It's what I like about this whole Beth Deck thing. Makes you think about how we use tech, you know?
And we have more power than we realize. We don't have to just keep buying new stuff. We can make things, be creative.
Totally. It's about, taking charge of the tech we use every day.
It's like that saying, right? Give a man a fish.
Yeah. The Beth Deck doesn't just give you games, it shows you how to make your own.
And when you do that, it opens up so many possibilities. What if you could customize everything, not just what companies sell us?
It's like going back to the old days, kinda. When people built their own computers, they really knew how it worked. There was something cool about that.
I know what you mean, like you were connected to the tech. But let's be real, not everyone wants to be a tech expert.
True, most people want things easy and affordable. But that doesn't mean projects like this aren't important.
They show us there are other ways of doing things.
They make us think, do we have to do it this way,
So what about people who don't want to build their own stuff? What can they do to support this whole repairable tech thing?
Be a smarter shopper. Look for companies that care about modularity, making things last and being able to fix them.
And try fixing things before you toss them. There's so much info online now, you can learn how. And maybe those repair shops will come back too.
That'd be great. Better for the planet, more jobs, helps everyone.
This whole deep dive on the Beth Deck, it's been quite a ride, huh?
It has. Started with a DIY project, ended up talking about the future of tech and how we can change it.
Modularity, fixing things, people being creative, we talked about it all.
Hopefully got some of you thinking differently about the tech you use every day.
This has been Everyday Tech Explained. If you like learning about the Beth Deck and the future of tech, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for listening.